and fire this puppy up. What's up, what's up, what's happening? Welcome back to Speed Addicts Garage. I know it's been a while, but you guys haven't seen too much content on this. It's still at Speed Addicts Garage. We're still working on it. So let me give you an overview of what's been happening on the Supra build. Let me get you guys up to date. All right, the first thing was we was waiting for a part that took literally over a month. The part we needed was this new billet top hat. I don't remember the name of the company, and we had a lot of trouble with it. The main problem we had is this fitting has an O-ring on it, and when we tighten up that fitting, it didn't have any recessed section to sit in. So as soon as we primed the fuel pump, that thing start shooting fuel everywhere. So the first thing we're gonna do today is we're gonna swap out this top hat. And the second thing is after I downloaded the base map, tried to turn it over, and the motor stopped. And the reason is cylinder number 6 was filling up with fuel, and I mean a ton of fuel. I didn't record it, but it was enough fuel that when I took out the spark plug, turned it over, usually put like a rag or a spill pad over to catch the fuel, it wasn't enough and it shot fuel everywhere. So we want to tackle that issue. I made a mistake and had the crank positioning sensor unplugged. Maybe that has something to do with it. But at the same time, we want to check these injectors that we got, specifically, like I said, injector number 6. So we'll probably take 6 out, maybe switch it out with like one that's easy accessible, like number 2 or something. And then also, I don't know if you guys remember before, but we had these pigtail adapters, and with the pigtail adapter plugging into the injector, and then the OEM pigtail plugs into that adapter, I mean, you're talking about something hanging off that fuel injector to plug in like that daggone long. I don't like it. I think they're EV14s, I think they're EV1s, which I got some on an old harness. So I think we're gonna take the intake plenum off, and we're gonna go ahead and solder in new injector pigtails, and we're gonna double check, make sure we got all our wiring right, even though the polarity doesn't matter. But let's go ahead and get tackled into this. And on a side note too, we are this close to putting the camshaft, the turbocharged camshaft, in the LS Power 240. So you guys might want to stick around so you can see which camshaft I chose. It's a good price, and it's from one of the best companies in the automotive industry in general. And then here go them pigtails I was talking about. Them jokers stretch out like 2 1/4 inches. See that? So yeah, we got to get rid of them. And yeah, like, see, look at that one. Look how tight that is. And I remember this last one, number 6, man, it's super tight. It's back there touching the regulator. Solder these injector clips in, the new ones, and then probably take this one out, take a peek at it, and maybe swap it out with that one. Then we'll go to the fuel pump. All right, I went online and got all my wiring schematics. All these are the injectors, power wires going into. So I got to injector number 5, which number 1 wire should be black with a yellow. And check this out. This is number 5. Number 5, as you can tell, is white. On number 1 is this deal here. So, I mean, it's not unusual that I got this harness or this pigtail mixed up with that one, which is the black with a white stripe, or excuse me, black with a yellow stripe. So that should be number 5. But as you can tell, I mean, look at that. That injector is so tight back there, so tight. So I guess I'm gonna have to unplug that one. That one's gonna go to this one. And then I guess what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna have to add a little extra to this, because I tell you what, man, working on this Supra is aggravating, man. Everything is tight. It's got so many vacuum lines. It's a good thing that we are converting over to standalone, so we don't need stuff like EGR and junk, but I'm glad that I found that. So let's go ahead and tidy all this up, put on my new pigtails, and then we'll start on the back, and I'm hoping that will fix my issue. Hey, we all make mistakes. As long as we can diagnose our mistakes and move to the next level, we good. And for anybody that it matters to, these are the, I believe it's the EV1 style injector clips. And just real quick, if you want to know how to easily take them off, and I'm sure there's probably easier ways, but this is how I do it. Take this section, push it in, and what it does is it pushes that up, and then you can grab that and take it off. Just that easy. Found something else. How embarrassing. Look at that. Somehow when I tighten up the intake manifold, it must have pinched. Dang, that's the power wire. It pinched it. So what do you know? Hey, it was a good thing that I can fix that. So hey, ain't nobody perfect, but we're gonna make it happen. All right, Speed Addicts fam. We got all of the new injector pigtails wired in, insulated it with a little loom, hit it with a little bit of electrical tape, and of course everything that I wired up has been soldered. We don't do butt connectors around here. So now that we got everything tightened up, I'm gonna be sure to move this wire out of the way, out of this little corner, so it don't get pinched. And we're gonna go ahead and throw the intake manifold back on, and then we're gonna throw the throttle body back on. All right, we got everything back together. Well, I still gotta put them vacuum lines on, but intake manifold's back on, everything secure, spark plugs are back in. And now it's time to tackle the back of the car. So again, we got this fuel hat that we got to change out, and I don't know exactly what was going on, but as you can tell, that's the orientation. That's what the big hole is, where the plug goes. That's the 6, the dash 8, that's the 6. And then I don't know why the return is now located over there. Maybe they gave us the wrong one at the beginning, but regardless, we're gonna take this thing back out, make a mess, and put it back together. Man, this thing ain't even got no turnover. This ain't got no hours on it. And that blue seal that goes in there, man, is like deteriorating. And then that black piece that holds that seal into place to protect all the wires is all bowed. And then what's all this ashy stuff? Is that the ethanol content in the gas or something? I ain't never seen that before. Now we got to get this trash out that they JB welded in there, and then we got to drill that bigger and tap it. All right, guys, it's a little bit later in the afternoon. Matter of fact, it's the next day, and the camera died, but I got the fuel pump assembly done. Let's take a peek at it real quick. All right, guys, so we got the fuel pump assembly reinstalled. The orientation of the top hats was different, so I don't know if we received the wrong one or whatever. But as you already saw, drilled a hole, tapped it. My orientation of my feed and return are just a little different. And then also too, this plug is super shallow. And I mean, it was so shallow that you can't plug it in. And what I end up having to do is cut the bottom of that plug off, because if you can tell, there is like no space underneath the bottom of that plug. But guys, we are ready to start the Supra, believe it or not. I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared, so I'm probably gonna prime the fuel pump, which actually, I've already primed the fuel pump. I checked in the back for leaks. We don't have any leaks. And what I was thinking was before is once again, cylinder 6 kept getting full of fuel. I think it was because of the pinch line that was on cylinder number 6. And I think when I was priming the fuel pump before, it was flooding that cylinder with fuel. So I'm about to pull the spark plugs out real quick and check them before we daggone fire this puppy up, because I don't want no issues. I know you probably can't tell, but it is dry. So I'm gonna check number 5 as well. And then we're gonna go ahead and put this thing back together, and we might start it. We might try to start it. I think we might start it. All right, fam, before we start it, I wanna make sure that I'm getting oil to the turbo. So I think what I'm gonna do is what I normally do, take this line off. I'm gonna put it in a jar, and I'm going to deactivate the fuel by disconnecting the fuel pump relay in the back. And let's see if we can get this thing turned over, get oil out this line, hook it back up, then we'll be ready to fire it up. Hey, this ain't sponsored or promoted or whatever. Hey, but this Red's Hard Apple, man, this stuff, hey, I don't even like beer, but this stuff good. So you should try it. But this ain't advertised or sponsored or anything. All right, I'm not about to keep turning this thing over. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my assistants to help me, or my assistant to help me. I think we're gonna try the second route. Go ahead and start it. Hold the turbo with my bare hands. And then let's see if we can get some oil in that Red's Apple bottle.
Hi.
Hey, you taking a shower?
No.
Hey, I need to borrow you.
Okay.
Love you. All right, Speed Ass Garage. Come over here. Come on over. Hey, this is Lil Mama. Say hey to the camera.
Hi.
Hey, I caught her off guard. I ain't tell her she was gonna be on camera, but this is the moment where we're gonna put her on camera. Plus, I need a second hands behind the scenes. Lil Mama helps me quite a bit. We're gonna have you start up
the 2J.
Are you cool with that?
Sure.
All right, Lil Mama. You ain't gotta be so awkward. We're gonna have you start this thing, and if I tell you to cut it off, all right? Are you scared?
No.
Hey, look, word up, she helped me a lot all the time with the 240. So to be honest with you, you probably start seeing her a lot more on the channel, but you heard it. We right ready to fire this thing up. Let me set you guys up so y'all can watch. All right, Miracle, so first, just turn the key to the on. I wanna see if I can hear the fuel pump prime again. Yep. It primed, we don't got any leaks. Moment of daggone truth. All right, try to start it. Put it on. We got a little action, guys. You heard it. We got a little action. All right, I'm gonna hold the turbo. Go ahead, try to turn it over. All right, oh, there we go. Now we got some oil. See that? We got a little oil. You see that, guys? That red can looking a little brown. Let me hook this back up real quick and see if we can get this thing started with a little throttle action. All right, try it again. I think it's having a hard time starting because usually when you got standalones, you got to set the base ignition timing. So let's say, for example, the ECU sees 15 degrees, but technically the mechanical side of it is like 0. You got to adjust the computer and use a timing light to make sure both of them are within sequence. So I think that might be the problem. And then another thing is too that we installed the brand new radium fuel pressure regulator, and I don't have a gauge on the fuel system, so I don't know what to adjust it to. For all I know, we ain't got enough fuel pressure. But like before, you know, the kit, the Pro EFI kit came with a fuel pressure sending unit. And so we pinned that into the ECU. So somewhere in that computer program, I should be able to see my fuel pressure when I turn the key. So I'm gonna sleep on this one, but we'll cut you back on tomorrow. And we're gonna try to start this thing back up. But at least we got oil to the turbo. Oh yeah, we got plenty of fuel pressure. I think I'm gonna take a few spark plugs out real quick and see if they're wet or see if they're dry. And they're getting a little fuel on there, but they don't look super saturated. Man, let's see if we get lucky, man. This is aggravating. fuel pressure while we're cranking it. Huh, we're not getting fuel pressure while we're cranking it. I gotta figure that out. Yeah, I gotta figure that out. All right, so I talked to the tuner. There ain't much he can help me with over the phone because, like he said, the program is so daggone complicated, and this is not my cup of tea. But what we did agree on is that maybe I can bypass the fuel pump. So this wire here is the trigger. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this alligator clip, the other end of it, I'm gonna go directly to the battery, meaning that we'll have fuel pressure at all times, and let's see if it starts. Smoky up in here. You heard them cams. You heard the cams. Let me see if I can rig something up so that we can get this thing running a little bit longer. And then also we got to get the back end up off the ground because according to CNC Motorsports, who built the transmission, as soon as you fire it up, you need to slap that mug in reverse, and we can't do that with the tires on the ground. So let me go ahead and get the back end on jack stands, and we'll see if we can get this thing to hold the idle just a little bit longer. Yo, this is my best creation, man, and what other better person to spend it with than my little mama. Hey, Adam, I hope you appreciate this, but I think we're gonna end the video off there. I mean, I've had enough adrenaline for one day. Y'all heard the cams, y'all heard what it sound like, and only thing we need to do now is load this puppy up and take it to get tuned. So, actually, you know what? I do want to start it one more time, and let's see if that electronic cutout works. Matter of fact, let's try it out right quick before we even cut it on to make sure it works. Yeah, hit the slide the collar down, hit the unlock button. Oh yeah, it ain't gonna work. I gotta turn the key on. Hey, what up, Speed Addicts Garage? I don't want to conclude that video quite yet. I want to give you guys an update. I ended up working on the Supra. I ended up going through the wiring harness, double checking, triple checking my wiring work to make sure I did everything right. Guess what? I did. But let me show you why I had to bypass the fuel pump relay that I installed in the back in order to get this Toyota Supra fired up. The Pro EFI comes, of course, with the computer. This harness plugs into the factory junction up there, and it has 3 relays. How about the relay number 1 had a broken terminal on this wire right here? This is the power wire that once this relay is energized, it sends power up to the fuse box under the hood. It powers up EFI relay 1 and the main EFI relay, and then EFI relay number 2. Here is the daggone cold pit. Jokers talk about, oh, you know, don't buy nothing cheap, you know what I'm saying? You gotta buy name brand. Name brand is the only way to go. But guess what? You get issues with name brand stuff. I can't knock nobody, because check out how they did it. They crimped it using, you know, like a specialized crimp tool like so, like the one I bought. So they did that, but then on top of that, they went an extra mile and they actually soldered it. But for some reason, this had a poor connection. I wish I would have recorded when it was acting up, but rest assured, that's the problem. And to prove it, we're gonna fire this mug up and you're gonna listen to it run real quick. That mug is still hitting. We actually have a transmission leak in between the transmission and the motor. We're gonna have to put it back on the lift and take the transmission back out. I'm kind of hoping it's something I did wrong. I'm hoping that there isn't any issue with the transmission because we did get the transmission rebuilt. But regardless, it looks like we are gonna have to pull the transmission back out. But on a good note, we did fix the wiring. The car is running. There is no more other leaks. Everything is tight, everything's secure, and everything is working like it should. So we are this close to getting it to the dyno, but we may or may not have another one of these coming to Speed Ass Garage. So stick around, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and you will continue to see great content. And I'm gonna continue to try my best to make you laugh. So in the meantime, take it easy, hug your wife or your husband, and kiss your kids, and be safe out there because things is crazy right now.